One of these bands sold millions of records and ended in complete tragedy. Another was destroyed by a cartoon. And one frontman died carrying the weight of a song he hated for the rest of his life. These are the 80s rock bands that ruled the world and then disappeared. Number 10. Faster Pussycat. They were born on the Sunset Strip, and they died when the strip stopped mattering. Close your eyes. It's 1987, Los Angeles. The smell of leather and hairspray, the whiskey, a go-go, the line around the block. Faster Pussycat were the kings of that world. Loud, dangerous, and unapologetically California. Frontman Tie Me Down had a swagger that was impossible to look away from. Every show felt like something might actually go wrong. That energy was the whole point. Their 1987 self-titled debut and the 1989 follow-up, Wake Me When It's Over, built a loyal cult following in the LA underground. House of Pain and Bathroom Wall kept them alive on the scene. Outside of California, though, the band struggled to crack the mainstream. The industry never pushed them the way it pushed Mötley Crüe or Ratt. They were always the best-kept secret on the Strip. And here's a detail that tells you everything. Before Tie Me Down had a band, he was a DJ at the Cat House, the most famous rock club on the Sunset Strip. He literally built the scene before he was in a band. He was the scene. When grunge arrived and made everything they stood for look cartoonish, Faster Pussycat had nowhere to go. They broke up in 1993. The joke was on the industry that never gave them a proper shot. Their songwriting was sharp. Their hooks were real. House of Pain is a better rock song than half the stuff that actually charted in that era. Number 9. Vixen 4 Women walked into a man's world and nearly changed everything about it. Think about what it took to be a woman in hard rock in 1987. The industry did not make space for you. The press did not take you seriously. The crowd was always waiting for you to prove yourself twice over. Vixen did not just show up. They delivered. They could play. They could write. They could perform. And for a few years, they proved that hair metal was not a boys' club. Their debut single, Edge of a Broken Heart, co-written with Richard Marx, hit number 26 on the Billboard Hot 100. Their self-titled 1988 debut album went gold. They toured with Ozzy Osbourne, The Scorpions, Bon Jovi, Kiss, and Deep Purple. That is not a small resume. Before Vixen was ever signed, they went through years of rejection by labels who couldn't figure out how to market an all-female hard rock group. They kept going anyway. That persistence eventually landed them a deal with EMI Manhattan. Most bands would have quit long before that. Founding guitarist Jan Quenneman died on October 10th. 2013, after a fierce battle with cancer. She was 51 years old, in a devastating twist. She and the classic lineup had quietly resolved their differences and were days away from announcing a full reunion when her cancer diagnosis arrived in January of that year. The comeback that should have happened never did. Her death closed a chapter that never got the ending it deserved. Number 8. Winger Kip Winger was supposed to be the next face of rock. Then Beavis and Butthead put his poster on a wall, and the whole thing fell apart. It's 1989. MTV is everything, and Kip Winger is everywhere on it. Tall, classically trained, undeniably charismatic. He had studied both ballet and music theory before he ever picked up a rock microphone. That combination of technique and stage presence made him impossible to ignore. For one brief window, Winger looked like they were going to be massive. 17 hit the charts in 1988. Miles Away and Headed for a Heartbreak showed a softer side that genuinely connected with fans. These were not throwaway tracks. These were well-crafted songs by a band with real musical depth. Then Beavis and Butthead used a Winger poster as the prop for their most pathetic recurring joke. Stewart, the show's lovable loser, wore a Winger t-shirt. Almost overnight, the entire band became a symbol of everything grunge was supposed to be killing. Their fan base dissipated almost overnight. The group called it quits in 1994. Grunge did not kill Winger. The perception did. And here's the plot twist. After the band broke up, Kip Winger went on to compose full orchestral works. He wrote a piece called Conversations with Nijinsky about the legendary Russian ballet dancer that was performed by a symphony orchestra. The man who got laughed off MTV became a respected classical composer. That is not a punchline. That is a genuine story of reinvention. Go back and listen to In the Heart of the Young. You will find a band with genuine songwriting chops and a vocalist who could do far more than the MTV package ever let him show. Number 7. Autograph. They toured with Van Halen. They had a platinum hit, and somehow history forgot them completely. There are bands that vanish because they were mediocre. And then there is Autograph. These Southern California hard rockers had the songs, the sound, and the live credibility that most bands spend a decade chasing. Turn Up the Radio was everywhere in 1984. The kind of track that lived inside your skull for days. Pure, hook-driven, no apologies rock and roll. Their 1984 debut, Sign and Please, went platinum. They shared stages with Van Halen, Mötley Crüe, and Ronnie James Dio. Follow-up albums, That's the Stuff, and Loud and Clear kept them in the touring circuit through the late 80s, until they disbanded in 1989. No scandal, no public collapse. They simply dissolved as the decade ended and the world moved on without noticing. Turn Up the Radio was actually written in about 20 minutes. Guitarist Steve Lynch said the riff just appeared, and the song built itself around it almost instantly. A platinum track written in a single sitting. That happens maybe once in a career, and it happened to a band most people have already forgotten. Autograph's real tragedy is the absence of a reason. No addiction story, no ego implosion, no lawsuit. They just ran out of road when the 80s ended. Start with Turn Up the Radio, and then keep going. You will not be disappointed. Number 6. A Flock of Seagulls. The Hair. You already know The Hair. But the music underneath it was something this decade never fully appreciated. It's 1982. MTV is less than a year old. The channel is still figuring out what it is. And then a flock of seagulls walk in front of a camera, and everything stops. The hair, the synths, the shimmering, echo-drenched guitar lines. They looked like they had arrived from a decade that hadn't happened yet. Iran, So Far Away, shot them to fame in 1982, genuinely unlike anything else on the radio. The sonic architecture of that track, the layered guitars, the delayed vocals, the relentless pulse, it was years ahead of the mainstream. They won a Grammy Award for Best Rock Instrumental Performance in 1983 for the track DNA from their debut album. That is not a band coasting on a visual gimmick, for that is a band with real craft. By 1985, lineup changes and industry disinterest had dulled their momentum. The very thing that made them distinctive, the futuristic sound, became dated the moment the next wave arrived. They became a trivia answer when they deserved to be a legacy. Lead singer Mike Score was actually a hairdresser before A Flock of Seagulls took off. He styled that infamous haircut himself. So the look that defined an era and eventually overshadowed the music came from a man who literally trained to cut hair for a living. The irony writes itself. Go back and listen to Space Age Love Song. It is one of the most beautifully constructed pop rock tracks of the entire decade. Atmospheric, emotional, timeless in a way that most 80s hits simply are not. I don't know what it means in my dreams. Number 5. Dokken. They had the sound. They had the talent. The only thing that destroyed them was each other. Imagine being in a band where the tension between two members is so loud you can almost hear it in the music. That was Dokken, and for one strange electric period in the 80s, that tension was actually part of what made them great. Don Dokken's voice was polished, melodic, and radio-ready. George Lynch's guitar playing was ferocious and technically brilliant. The two men genuinely could not stand each other, and somehow, when they were in the same room making music, it worked. Their 1984 album, Tooth and Nail, went platinum. Their 1985 follow-up, Under Lock and Key, went platinum too. Songs like In My Dreams, Alone Again, and Burning Like a Flame all hit the Billboard Hot 100. What can I say or do? They were a machine. But the bickering between Don Dokken and George Lynch was constant and increasingly public. Every interview was a battlefield. Every tour was a war of attrition. The band broke up in 1989. They reunited in 1993, but the chemistry was never the same. What can I say? The original tension that made their music dangerous had curdled into something that just hurt everyone involved. George Lynch is widely regarded as one of the most technically gifted guitarists of the hair metal era. His tone is something guitar players still study today. He went on to form Lynch Mob after the split, putting out seriously underrated work that almost nobody outside the core fanbase ever heard. Dokken never got the credit they deserved. In a different environment, with less personal chaos, this band could have been one of the defining acts of the decade. The infighting cost them everything.
And now you find yourself in 82.
Number 4. Asia. For 1 year, they were the biggest band on the planet. Then the critics came for them, and they never recovered. In 1982, you could not escape Asia. Their debut album brought together alumni from Yes, John Wetton and Steve Howe, King Crimson, John Wetton, and ELP, Carl Palmer.
Catch a pull and ride the dragon's wing.
On paper, it was an impossible lineup. In execution, it worked beyond anyone's expectations. Their debut album, Asia, was released in April 1982. It sold over 10 million copies worldwide. It was the best-selling album of that entire year.
You can't concern yourself with bigger things.
Heat of the moment was inescapable on MTV and radio. And then the critics turned. The term corporate rock started getting attached to everything they did. Prog purists felt betrayed. The accessibility that made them commercially huge made them a target. By the mid-'80s, they were a punchline to the same people who had celebrated them 3 years earlier. Here's the fact that history doesn't give enough weight.
And we would scream together songs unsung.
Asia's debut was among the first albums certified platinum under the RIAA's new certification system, requiring 1 million units.
Telling me what my heart meant.
The very first wave of platinum records under the modern system included a band that is now largely forgotten. History has a strange sense of humor.
The disco hotspot's holding the charm for you.
Go back and listen to The Smile Has Left Your Eyes from that same debut album. It is a devastatingly beautiful track that never gets mentioned when people talk about the 80s.
'Cause it's the heat of the moment.
Asia were capable of genuine emotional depth. The critical backlash buried that. They deserved a longer, fairer hearing than the music press ever gave them.
We're gonna prove it tonight, like Romeo.
Number 3. Ratt. They built a platinum empire on the Sunset Strip, and then tore it apart from the inside. Los Angeles, 1984. Out of the Cellar just dropped. The album hits number 7 on the Billboard 200.
What comes around goes around, I'll tell you why.
Round and Round is everywhere. Number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100. Stephen Pearcy's raspy voice and Warren DeMartini's guitar pyrotechnics are the sound of a generation finding its identity. Out of the Cellar went triple platinum in the United States. The follow-up, Invasion of Your Privacy, went double platinum. They were selling out arenas worldwide, cementing the Los Angeles glam metal scene as a genuine cultural force. Before Round and Round became one of the defining songs of the decade, Ratt had actually been thrown off a Billy Squier tour because they were too popular as the opening act, and the crowd liked them more than the headliner. That kind of electricity was exactly what the record label eventually bottled. Then the cracks appeared. Guitarist Robbin Crosby, co-founder, co-writer of the band's most iconic material, developed a devastating heroin addiction. He was removed from the group following their 1991 Japanese tour. Stephen Pearcy departed shortly after. By early 1992, the classic lineup was effectively over. Robbin Crosby died on June 6, 2002.
You make the night, I always cross the lines.
He was 42. The cause was complications from AIDS. He had contracted HIV from sharing needles during his addiction.
Right from the start, you put an arrow.
He had publicly disclosed his diagnosis in a radio interview in 2001, saying, "Basically, it's killing me. I've been in the hospital for 8 straight months." His name deserves to be spoken with the same reverence as the songs he helped create.
We'll put you on your shelf another day.
The tragedy inside Ratt isn't just the addiction or the breakup. It's Robbin Crosby. He was the other half of one of the most electric guitar partnerships in 80s rock. And because his story ended in private tragedy, rather than public spectacle, history largely moved past him. Number 2. Quiet Riot. They did something no heavy metal band had ever done before, and then they spent the rest of their career trying to survive what that success cost them. Metal Health came out in March 1983. Nobody was ready for what happened next. It climbed the Billboard 200 and kept climbing, all the way to number 1 on the pop chart. A heavy metal album at number 1 on the pop chart. That had never happened in the history of recorded music. Kevin DuBrow was no longer singing to a niche audience. He was singing to everyone. Metal Health went 5 times platinum in the United States. Come On, Feel the Noise and Bang Your Head were inescapable on radio and MTV. Quiet Riot became the first heavy metal band to reach number 1 on the Billboard album chart, a fact that still doesn't get the weight it deserves. The pressure of being first, of being the act that proved metal could go pop, was enormous. DuBrow's public behavior became increasingly erratic. He gave interviews that alienated fans and industry figures alike. Lineup changes fractured the chemistry that made the band work. Before Quiet Riot became the act that broke heavy metal into pop radio, they had recorded 2 full albums in Japan in the late 1970s with a young guitarist named Randy Rhoads. Those albums were never released in the United States. When DuBrow eventually reformed Quiet Riot with a new lineup, Rhoads had already left to join Ozzy Osbourne. He died in a plane crash on March 19, 1982, just months before Metal Health made the band famous. The guitarist who helped build Quiet Riot never got to see what they became. Kevin DuBrow died on November 25, 2007. The cause was an accidental cocaine overdose. He was 52 years old. Metal Health is one of the most important albums in the history of rock music. Not because of how it sounds, but because of what it proved. It broke a door down that had been locked for years. Every metal and hard rock act that got mainstream radio play after 1983 owes a debt to that record. And Kevin DuBrow, flawed, volatile, undeniable, was the voice that kicked that door open. He deserves far more than a footnote. Number 1. Warrant. He wrote one of the most beautiful rock ballads of the entire decade. Then the industry turned that song into a joke and watched him spend the rest of his life trying to escape it. It's 1989. Warrant have just released Dirty Rotten Filthy Stinking Rich. The album is climbing. Jani Lane is becoming a face that sells magazines. Cherry Pie has not happened yet. At this point, Jani Lane is exactly what rock and roll is supposed to produce. A vocalist with genuine range, a songwriter with genuine depth, a frontman with genuine presence. The power ballad from their debut hit number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and showed a songwriter who could genuinely move you. Tender, aching, and honest in a way that most rock music from that era never dared to be. Then Cherry Pie happened, and it changed everything. The label wanted an anthem track for the second album. Lane knocked it out in 15 minutes, scrawling the lyrics on a napkin. It became the song everyone knew. I don't think I'm gonna love you anymore. Cherry Pie rocketed to number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100, a massive hit. But it overshadowed everything else he'd ever done. When grunge arrived and dismantled the entire genre, Cherry Pie became the easiest target in rock. Warrant became a symbol of everything the new decade wanted to reject. The backlash was disproportionate, and Jani Lane felt every bit of it. He struggled with alcoholism for years. He once told VH1 on camera, "I could shoot myself in the fucking head for writing that song." He resented Cherry Pie not because of the song itself, but because of what it had erased about who he actually was as an artist. I Saw Red, the ballad from the Cherry Pie album, was written after Lane walked in on his then-girlfriend in bed with his best friend. It sent him into a nervous breakdown. That real, raw pain became one of the most underrated rock ballads of the decade. He wanted to be known for that. He wanted to be known for heaven. But Cherry Pie followed him everywhere he went. On August 11th, 2011, Jani Lane was found unresponsive in his hotel room at a Comfort Inn in Woodland Hills, California. The cause of death was acute alcohol poisoning. He was 47 years old. In his pocket, they found a note with 2 things written on it. The words, "I am Jani Lane," and a phone number in someone else's handwriting. A song written in 15 minutes defined a legacy that deserved so much more. The industry that profited from that image did nothing to help him when the weight of it became too much to carry. Jani Lane is number 1 on this list because no other story on it carries this kind of weight. This was not just a band that vanished. This was a man who vanished slowly, painfully, and in plain sight, while the world looked the other way. He deserved better. The music he made deserved better. And that is the truth of what the 80s rock industry could do to the people who built it. Ten bands, 10 stories. Some faded, some were buried, some burned out before anyone noticed they were going. But what all of them share is this: they made something real, and the music industry, the critics, or just the cruel passage of time didn't give them the send-off they earned. Which of these stories affected you the most? Is there an 80s act we didn't cover whose story deserves to be told? Drop it in the comments. This community exists to make sure these stories aren't forgotten. Like and subscribe, and keep the music playing.